Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to be painting a back-to-school card for teachers. So let's get to painting. Okay, so we're going to start by going over all of my materials. So for paint brushes, I like to use the Princeton snap brushes in a size 12 round, 6 round, and 2 round. Then for paper, okay, so with cards, you can buy your cards. They come in a set. They have the cards and the envelopes, but they're usually not the best paper, and when you want to paint a card for somebody, it's nice to have a nice painting on it. So what I like to do is cut out some paper that's actually good, and I just kind of cut it smaller than the card, just a bit smaller, kind of to fit it, but it's kind of a bit smaller, not really, but. And this is Arches cold press watercolor paper. And then for my paints, I will be using my Winsor Newton Professional watercolors in my palette. Then I have my waterproof towel, and we're ready to go. And back on the card again, I have painted. This is actually like the second time that I've cut paper out and put it on my card. I just tried it out, seeing some other artists have done it, but I usually just paint on the card, but it usually doesn't turn out nice, so I started doing that. So yeah, that's my materials for today. Okay, so you also will be needing a pencil and eraser for the drawing of the apple. You don't have to draw the apple. I'm just going to draw it out first because it's just easier to paint when you have that shape already. But I've already kind of sketched it out, and just kind of erased it lightly. But just so you wouldn't have to see me struggle to get that shape. But I'm just going to show you how to do it. So you kind of want to start kind of in the middle of your paper, but kind of come down a little bit. And then you want to kind of start and you want to come up like that. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay. And then you just want to come around and kind of come back up like that. It's just like a C. And you end it kind of coming up. Then you want to come down here and start your other side and then connect it to that part right there. So you have your stem, and we'll have our leaf. I mean, we'll make that bigger. You don't really have to draw that out, but if you would like to, you can. And I think I'm going to make this a bit shorter, like come up more, like that. And yeah, I think that's okay. You don't want it to come up that much, but just a little bit where you can kind of see the two sides of the apple. Alright, so then what you're going to do is you're just going to start erasing, but where you can still see the pencil mark, but where it's really light, because with watercolor it's very transparent, so you don't want to see that pencil mark through it, which is what will happen if we don't erase it. So you just really want to make it nice and light, so it won't, you won't be able to see it through our painting. Okay, so now we're gonna start painting. Okay, so we're gonna can't get the words out of my mouth. So with an object, you usually have like a highlight in it. So we're gonna say the sun is coming through, or the sun, but the light object is coming in from this way. So you're gonna have our highlight here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna start and just kind of wet up the whole apple. You're just going to go around and, whoa, there's a big droplet of water, and just wet up the whole apple. So we're going to be doing the wet on wet technique. And you don't want your apple so, so wet that it's like pooling at the bottom of it if you were to tilt it, but where you can just get like a nice sheen. And I'm just going to go over this outline with water. And if you would like to do just like a nice light color of some sort, you can take a bit of red and really water it down where you can not even see it. but you can just barely see that red, so you can kind of see your water. It helps when beginners do that, just so they can see what they're doing. Okay. And yeah, so then I'm just gonna start wetting up that apple like that. Alright? Okay. Now, like I said, it should not be pooling, but it should have a nice sheen, but it also shouldn't be like super dry, you know? But all parts of the apple should be wet. Okay? Alright, and I'm just gonna start, and I have some Camion red and like a bit of Windsor red that I have here, which is just like a in between of light and dark red. I'm just gonna start tapping it in. Remember, our light source is coming from this way, so it's gonna be like a highlight right in there. Okay, so start. I'm just gonna make this whole thing, this whole part right here, red. Okay, and just come like that. Okay. Alright. And then I'm just gonna keep making it lighter as it goes. So I'm just gonna kind of outline the whole thing, but now I'm just gonna really like just wash off my brush, dry it, and then I'm just gonna make it this lighter as it goes, like that. Alright, now I'm just gonna make it so much darker. Way more pigment on my brush. I'm just gonna really make this thing darker. Okay. Alright, then like you don't want that harsh line like that, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna wash off your brush and dry it. And you're just gonna blend it out. And then so you can kind of see now how like there's a highlight right there, and that will make this apple more real, and it will make any object that you're painting look more real. Okay, so our apple's not just going to be red either. We're going to add in a few more tones, like some yellow is really what I'm talking about. So yellow ochre here is what we're going to be taking, and we're just going to tap it in right kind of beside this highlight, and then we're gonna wash off our brush, make sure it's nice and clean, and then make sure it's dry, and then we're just gonna blend that out like that. Okay, and then so you kind of have some yellow in there too, but you can just, you know. Okay. So I'm gonna even maybe add like a bit more yellow in here. Places like here. Really get those different, you know, because it's an apple and it's not just one color. And if you would like to do a green apple, you could do that too. Just like most colors, you know, they want it to be red. I don't know. I feel like that's just the color when you think of like teachers and stuff. That's what it should be. I don't know. Okay. So, add a bit more yellow in here to really make that apple look a bit more real. Yeah, like that. Alright, so I have a darker red. I'm going to take 2. And it's alizarin crimson. It's a nice dark red. And we're going to add that in too. And we're just going to blend that out. Like that. Okay, so I like that. Alright, what you can also do is take a bit of green in your palette too. So I have some sap green here. I'm just going to mix it in with a bit of yellow to really make it like a yellowy green. That was a bit too much yellow. Like that. Nice light green. I'm going to water it down a bit. You can add that in there too. And that will make your apple look a bit more real too. So, like that. I just want to make it more dark, I feel like back here. I don't know. Or either this light not dark enough, or our highlight is not light enough. I don't know. I think it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna add a bit more yellow and green to this apple. Alright, I'm gonna wash off my brush and I'm gonna dry it. Blend it out. So what I mean by blend it out is just kind of move that paint and make it look, make it move and make it look more real and softer, and the lines aren't as harsh, and it just really comes together and makes it real nice. Alright, so before our apple dries, we're going to take our size 2. We're going to take our brown, so we have some burnt umber, I think is what I'm going to take. And I'm going to take a bit of this sepia, which is a nice dark brown. Maybe make it a bit lighter. We're just going to make that stem. Actually, we're going to start out here. We're going to make it that. And what I'm trying to do, what I mean like by the apple, want it to be so wet, so I want to kind of add in some of that brown, drop it in there, and let it kind of bleed. And that makes like a real effect too. Like that. That stem's kind of long, longer than I wanted it to be. Alright, then we're gonna take like some sap green or something. Whatever I have up here in my palette, some kind of green. And we're gonna start, and we're gonna make a leaf for our apple, because that really just completes the apple. So I'm gonna add a bit more water to it. Move that over its top. And yeah, like that. Like that. And then you can just add in like, whatever. Make it darker if you like. Whatever you prefer. And just tap it in. And just tap in some darker pigment. Tap it in your apple also. Like that. Alrighty. I think that looks super nice. Alright, we can even take, just some red towards the top too. Just drop it in. Yeah, like that. Okay, so I think that looks like a nice apple. Yeah. Alrighty, I like that. And I think it looks great. I don't know. I may add in like a bit more red or something. Green or something. I don't know. Okay. Alrighty. So I think that looks good. So yeah, that looks very nice. Yeah, okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let our apple dry, and then we'll come back in for the background of the apple, which is gonna look so cool. And it's just gonna make a really nice touch. So that's what we're gonna do, and yeah. Okay, so it is now dry, and yeah, so if you can kind of see a difference of it, it looks a bit smaller, and the shape looks a bit better. So what I did after it was dry is I went back in with this Dr. Page Martin's Bleed Proof White ink, and I just kind of fixed the shape of it. I went around and just kind of covered up some of that apple and redid the shape so it looks less like a tomato and more like an apple. And I don't know if you can kind of like see like the red tint of it, but yeah, that's just kind of how, but it doesn't matter because when we do our background, you will not be able to see that. So what we're going to be doing is a black background because it reminds me of a chalkboard, which reminds me of a teacher. Like, you know, I've just always thought that. So, we're just going to take some black and and you're just going to start going around the apple. But what you don't want to do is go all the way, like the whole paper. Well, no, yes, you do want to do the whole paper. I'm trying to like debate how I want to do this, but I think because our paper is a bit smaller than our card, it will, you know. Oh, okay, so another thing is this Dr. Page Martin it's not dry yet. So you can see when I kind of mix it in, it kind of makes like a light gray tone. I probably should have waited for that to dry, but it's okay. I'll just paint over it, and I'll just go back and I will do other coats. Okay, so I'm just gonna lather on some black and just really put it on there. And you just wanna go around your apple, and you actually don't have to like touch the apple. What you're gonna do is go around it and leave a white spot. So, like that. So you can just see I'm going around all of those, the stem and the leaf and everything else. And I'm just gonna go right around this apple here. And it's okay if you kind of touch it, it's fine. You just don't, you know, just kind of make it like that. And really, you want a thinner line than what I have here. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but, you know, just try to go around the best you can with a thin line, not a thick line. You can even go thinner than what I have here. And, you know, actually, a chalkboard, you know, is very, like, chalky and messy. And that kind of looks more like a chalkboard when you kind of mix in that lighter tone to it. It makes it look a bit like messy and more like a whiteboard. So that kind of looks nice. So if you want, you can take, if you have any gouache, white gouache or anything like that, you can take that and mix it in with your black and make like some lighter tones of black, or take some gray or something, and you can make lighter tones too. And you can do the same thing if you didn't like your shape of your apple. You can do the same thing, going back in and taking it, and you don't have to let it dry. No, but make sure your apple is dry first. But yeah, I mean, look how it's turning out. So I kind of like that. It has like a chalky look to it. I don't know. I think I am gonna go darker though on some areas here and stuff. So I do like the different shades of black, I think. Looks like a whiteboard a lot. Yeah. Art doesn't always go as you planned, and it can work out for the good or the bad. Okay, I really like this. So yeah, that gave off a nice impression. So if you didn't do like what I did and you're like, oh no, I like hers, and all you gotta do is take some, like if you have this, you can take that or any kind of white gouache. That's totally fine, and just kind of glob it. What I did is I just kind of had it on the sides of like my apple a little bit, not even everywhere, and it just kind of turned out like that. That's all you gotta do. You can, you know, just play around. But anyway, the point of this is you want a black background to make it look like a chalkboard. And you're supposed to kind of just leave a bit of white around the apple, touching the apple, sometimes not, but just so, you know, just like that. Nothing too nothing too hard. And your lines do not have to be perfect. Mine are not. Like, it's touching the apple, not touching the apple sometimes. It's fine. You just don't want, like, don't get it like a thick line. It's just so you can see that apple a bit better. And I don't know. I may not even do lines. I don't know. Just maybe a little bit. But I barely even have a line. It's just kind of, you can see the apple. But yeah, I think this looks really nice. Turned out very nice. So like I said, if you didn't like the shape of your apple like I didn't, all you gotta do is just go back in with your ink and just kind of cover up some of that apple. Or if you wanted it to be bigger or something like that, you can just take more color while it's still wet and just extend it. You don't have to follow your pencil mark, it's fine. Okay, so I'm actually ending up like not making a line around the apple. It's kind of how it's turning out. So, yeah, so I'm actually not making a line, like a white line around the apple. Thought I was going to, but I'm not. Yeah, so I'm not. If you liked the white line around your apple, totally do that. It's not supposed to look exactly like mine. I'm just here to kind of teach you how you can do it. But really, it's supposed to be your own and just kind of play around with it. So yeah, I'm just kind of winging it here. You know, just doing what I like. Just playing around until I like it. Like that. So, there you go. There's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry, and then we will come back in and we will glue it to our card and make any last touches that we want. We will do that. So yeah. Okay, so now that this part is dry, we're going to be gluing it onto our card. So you can write words on there. I think what I'm going to do is write whoever my brother's teacher is going to be. I'm going to let him use it, and whoever his teacher is going to be, I'm going to write her name, like Miss whoever it is, and he can use that. But yeah, you can really do anything you want. One year I made a card like this, and I put best teacher ever in like my white ink, and it looked really nice. But yeah, so I'm going to be using my hot glue gun for this. You can use a glue stick, which would be much easier. I just don't have one, and for now I'm just going to use my hot glue gun because it works and I like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and you can see where I already drew on the back trying to do another one, but it didn't work out. I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and what this is sitting on is something you can just put your pots and pans on. I just like to have it there. Yeah, simple. And I'm just going to start and glue. Just going to place the glue all on this. I have another glue stick here in case I run out. Put that in. I think I got it on there. But yeah, I'm just making sure all the glue's in there. Okay. So now, before it dries, whoops, it's okay. I'm going to take it, just going to place it where I want it. It's just going to be right there. Pick that up. Alright, like that. And there you go. You have it on your card. So you do not have to do a separate piece and then glue it on the card. You can just paint on the card. But most of the time, unless you get like a good professional card, it'll watermark and it won't turn out good. And I just learned that. And then I heard this other artist telling me, or not telling me, but like saying in her card videos that she like takes a whole like different piece of paper and then glues it on there. Like she uses her professional paper, which I was like, okay, so that's what I'm doing. And the artist is Emma LaFave. Check her out. She's amazing. But yeah. So there you go. There's a nice card. And like I said, you can write on it whatever you would like. Yeah. So there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and that you liked the painting card that I did. And if you followed along, please let me know in the comments below how it turned out. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.